from my perspective, hypnosis is the language of awakening. And it's a way of transforming your communication into a transformational journey of some sort, by speaking to a person on all the levels and hitting all the right places. Generally, what happens is, because a lot of my students are from HMI, which is the big hypnotherapy school, or NGH, which is the big institution. A lot of times what happens, they go to these schools and they're taught hypnosis from an old textbook, from someone who's just learned to teach things the way they were taught, which again goes back to modality versus mastery. And so they're taught a very outdated version of westernized hypnosis. And so they're usually taught how to do hypnosis, but they're not taught how to be a hypnotist. Two very different things. I could show you how to swing a sword, but that doesn't make you a swordsman.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's where there's expansion possible in the field of hypnosis. And that's part of what I love to bring. Because, as much as I've learned from Western hypnosis, I also explored hypnosis deep in trance and reclaimed a lot of stuff from past lives, and have seen things, the ancient, well, they didn't necessarily call themselves hypnotists, but the ancient shamans, part of the way that they would do hypnosis is they would do these dances where they would build up their vibration in a particular kind of way for whatever purpose they're wanting to serve with their client. Not that they call them clients, but their patients.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I like the word allies.
Yeah.
So they would build up their vibration through a certain dance, which would entrance the person watching because they didn't know what was happening. It was very much a pattern interrupt. And then at a certain moment, they would know to grab the person in a kind of way and push that energy into them, and they would drop into a trance. And so it was wordless, it was embodied hypnosis and leading them to a space with intention, because the true purpose of hypnosis is to help people better understand who they are. That's it, at the core of your being. That's why when you see, let's see, a hypnotist, like if you were to watch my street hypnosis videos on YouTube, you could see someone who I go up to who's very like shy and insecure and guarded. But when I hypnotize them, suddenly they liberate their shine. And suddenly they're no longer insecure. They're the most fully expressed version of themselves, and they're animated and they're loud, right? That's because, again, the purpose is to help you remember and understand who you truly are. So when you go into that trance, you're recovering yourself. It's an instant healing. And that's why I call it the language of awakening. So my approach is very different than most.
Yeah, very different. Is there something that makes somebody more easily hypnotized?
Yes and no. It depends for what. So if we're talking about for change work,
Mm-hmm.
then absolutely everybody can experience hypnosis if the hypnotist is performing it correctly, meaning the hypnotist knows how to be a hypnotist, not just do hypnosis. Because in that context, it's really just about creating a very powerful resonance field that leads people on a very enjoyable journey that they love to expand through. And it doesn't necessarily require an unconscious trance to facilitate. Not that you're ever actually unconscious when you're in a trance. On the flip side, if you're doing street hypnosis, if you're doing entertainment hypnosis, then where you want to have people cluck like a chicken or believe that you're Drake or whatever case may be, everyone can be hypnotized, but not everyone's ready to be hypnotized. So there's certain things that I look for when I'm in the street. I look for
When I'm in the street.
when I'm in the street.
Yeah.
There's certain things I look for, and
Would you pick me out?
actually, yeah, I totally would, because
Based on what?
you have the sparkle in your eye.
Oh, thanks.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what I look for is people who I know would appreciate a magical moment,
Hmm.
and who aren't going to be all impress me, like
Yeah.
right? I look for people who are going to appreciate it, because what I always remind others on the street is it's not it's not me hypnotizing you. We're in a dance together. And for me, since it is the language of awakening, I'm offering you a gift. And it's a gift of access to more of your consciousness. And it's your consciousness, so you deserve to have access to more of it. So when you approach it from the energy of, hey, I want to offer you a gift, as opposed to, I want to have power over you, people are going to open up in a different kind of way. And so I look for people who are going to appreciate a gift. And then through that, I just kind of dance with them and I start to look for who's genuinely most captivated by where I'm going. And it's usually revealed physically by a certain sparkle in their eye. And when I have that, I'm like, okay, you're about to experience some magic.